Governor Whitmer and Director Hertel, thank you for your audience. My name is Jordan Bannock. I appreciate your time. Over the past several years, it has become clear that we cannot rely on the federal government to protect Americans from the effects of climate change. Recent policy choices, like expanding logging on protected public lands, approving the Dakota Access and Keystone XL pipelines, and withdrawing the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement, have delayed climate action at a time when we need it most. Because of this, states like ours need to take our own steps to protect ourselves from the consequences of climate change. My research asks an urgent question. Is Michigan prepared for extreme heat events? The short answer is no. This is not a coastal or southern problem. Michigan's extreme heat risk is increasing rapidly. Dr. Manas Khan from the University of Illinois found that the Midwest is projected to experience some of the steepest increases in extreme heat days in the country. As the Great Lakes state, our unique climate means that our residents have been less able to adapt to high heat, which increases our risk at temperatures that would be considered normal in other parts of the country. A conclusion reached not only by Khan's team, but by Dr. Penelope Dring at the University of Cincinnati as well. Khan also found that the southern half of the Lower Peninsula faces particular danger, with major urban centers like Lansing, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Flint, and Ann Arbor having the highest heat risk scores. These high scores are because of historical disinvestment in Black and brown communities, low tree canopy coverage, high prevalence of old and energy inefficient housing, and extensive use of heat capturing building materials. This is the case in urban centers across the country and was found to be so in evaluations led by Dr. Christopher Uwijo for the Miami-Dade County Public Health Department and Dr. Maria Romanello for The Lancet. It's important for us to recognize that Michiganders everywhere will feel the effects of intensifying heat. My research found that we do have some foundational elements of heat preparedness. There are heat safety web pages, National Weather Service alerts, and scattered local cooling centers. But these elements are fragmented and reactive. What we lack is a statewide heat action plan. There is no standardized activation threshold, no mandatory cooling center procedures, and no uniform communication strategy. Preparedness varies county by county, which creates unequal protection, especially in our rural counties. The information that's available is useful to residents, but research shows that less than half of people take protective action even when they know the risks. That means that our current strategy, which is leaving people to self-direct their own safety, is dangerous. Michigan needs to adopt a statewide heat action plan built around the public health model of prevention. A tri-level plan that would begin with reducing underlying risk, shifting to early intervention as our conditions worsen, and culminating in rapid response once extreme heat is already causing harm. This means, at the primary level, investing in green infrastructure, expanding tree canopy and shade structures in the state's most heat-burdened neighborhoods, supporting energy-efficient retrofitting for older housing, and embedding heat resilience standards into redevelopment efforts. Dow University's Dr. Faria Hassan's review of heat mitigation strategies shows that these interventions can cool neighborhoods by up to 9 degrees. At the secondary level, we need to adopt a standardized emergency activation threshold. We can use NOAA's heat risk tool and humidity-adjusted temperature criteria so that triggers are automatic and uniform across counties. A single heat alert distributed through health departments, utility providers, schools, and social service agencies, combined with statewide automatic text alerts that could be led by MDHHS, residents and support networks would receive clear guidance before conditions become dangerous. Finally, at the tertiary level, Michigan needs to be positioned for rapid response. Counties should have designated cooling centers in advance, along with transportation options to get people there. Wellness checks for isolated residents, standardized protocols for hospitals and emergency responders, and the ability to deploy water distribution, Mobile cooling units and personnel in real time will ensure that the state can minimize harm. Together, these primary, secondary, and tertiary targets form a comprehensive prevention-based statewide heat action plan. Dr. Jeremy Hess of the University of Washington found heat action plans in countries and cities across the world were able to reduce mortality by 30 to 60% during extreme heat events. Michigan already has fragments of heat preparedness. Now is the time to unify them. We already know the consequences of inaction. The 1995 Chicago heat wave and 2021 Pacific Northwest heat dome show us exactly how deadly extreme heat becomes when a region lacks preparation. Lookbacks at both events revealed the same gaps in preparation that Michigan has now. Extreme heat is our fastest growing climate hazard. Without a formal statewide heat action plan, preventable illness and death will rise. Our federal leadership is inconsistent, but we here in the state of Michigan have the authority and capacity to act right now. I urge the governor's office and MDHHS to develop and implement a statewide heat action plan based on the public health policy of prevention that will protect all Michiganders, especially our most vulnerable. Thank you.